China, a nation with a civilization stretching back thousands of years. A land of emperors and dynasties, revolutions and transformations. And in the 21st century, no name defines modern China more than one man, Xi Jinping. For some, he is a visionary leader, a modern emperor guiding China to reclaim its historic greatness. For others, he is an authoritarian figure, tightening control and reshaping the world order to fit his vision. But who is Xi Jinping really? Where did he come from? And how did he rise from the fields of rural China to become one of the most powerful leaders in the world today? This is the story of Xi Jinping, his early struggles, his rise through the Communist Party, his consolidation of power, and the future he envisions not just for China, but for the entire world. This is his story. Xi Jinping was born on June 15, 1953, in Beijing, into a family at the very heart of China's revolutionary elite. His father, Shi Zhongshuan, was a respected revolutionary hero and a close ally of Mao Zedong. He served as deputy prime minister, one of the highest posts in the land. Growing up, young Xi enjoyed a childhood of privilege inside the Zongnanhai compound, home to China's ruling elite. But that life of comfort would not last. The 1960s brought turmoil, the Cultural Revolution. Mao launched a campaign to reassert his power, plunging the country into chaos. Xi's father fell from grace, accused of betrayal and purged from power. For Xi Jinping, it meant the end of privilege, and the beginning of hardship. 15 years old, Xi Jinping was banished to the countryside. Sent to a poor rural village in Shaanxi province, he lived in a cave-like home, working as a farmer. For years he carried buckets of water, shoveled manure, and tilled the fields. He later recalled these years as transformative. The hardships of rural life taught him resilience and gave him a unique bond with China's peasantry. It was here that Xi's character hardened, and where his political ambition began to take root. Despite his family's disgrace, Xi refused to give up. He applied to join the Chinese Communist Party multiple times, rejected again and again because of his father's political downfall. But Xi persisted. Eventually, he was accepted in 1974. By 1975, Xi returned to Beijing to study at Tsinghua University, one of China's most prestigious schools, where he majored in chemical engineering. But it wasn't just engineering he was studying. Xi immersed himself in the theories of Marx, Lenin, and Mao, shaping the ideology that would define his political career. After graduation in 1979, he worked as secretary to Gung Biao, vice premier and defense minister. This gave him a front-row seat to the workings of the state and the military, vital connections for the future. In 1982, Xi made a surprising move. Instead of staying in Beijing, he requested to leave the capital and build his career in the provinces. His first stop, Hebei province, where he worked as deputy secretary of the CCP. From there, Xi's career steadily climbed. By 1985, he was vice mayor of Xiamen, a coastal city in Fujian province. During this period, Xi met Peng Liyuan, a famous folk singer and national celebrity. Their marriage in 1987 gave Xi both personal happiness and a partner who would later play a major role in his public image. Xi spent nearly 17 years in Fujian, focusing on economic reforms and fighting corruption, a theme that would define his later leadership. In 1999, he became acting governor, officially governor in 2000. Fujian faced scandals of corruption, smuggling, and mismanagement. Xi gained a reputation for being tough but pragmatic. By 2002, Xi was known for getting things done quietly without seeking the spotlight. In 2007, a scandal erupted in Shanghai's leadership. Xi was brought in as a stabilizer, appointed party secretary of Shanghai. Though his stay lasted less than a year, his clean reputation and steady leadership earned him national attention. That same year, Xi was elevated to the Politburo Standing Committee, the highest ruling body in China. Overnight, he went from provincial leader to a top contender for the presidency. In 2008, Xi was named Vice President of China. His role emphasized diplomacy, representing China at global summits and forging ties abroad. By 2010, she was also vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, placing him in control of the armed forces. Then, in 2012, during the CCP's 18th Party Congress, Xi Jinping was chosen as General Secretary of the Communist Party. The following year, on March 14, 2013, she was officially elected President of China. A new era had begun. One of Xi's first and boldest moves was a sweeping anti-corruption campaign. He declared war on both tigers and flies, meaning high-ranking officials and low-level bureaucrats. Over the years, more than 1 million officials were investigated and punished. To his supporters, Xi was cleaning up China. To critics, it was also a way to eliminate rivals and tighten his grip on power. In 2018, the National People's Congress abolished presidential term limits. Xi could now remain in power indefinitely. His ideology, Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics in a new era, was enshrined in both the party and the state constitutions, cementing his place alongside Mao Zedong. Under Xi, China became increasingly assertive abroad. His signature policy, the Belt and Road Initiative, sought to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe through massive infrastructure projects. China built roads, ports, and railways across continents, extending its influence like never before. But Xi's China also faced growing tensions with the United States, from trade wars to disputes over Taiwan and the South China Sea. Relations with Russia deepened, while ties with North Korea remained strategically important. On the global stage, Xi positioned China as a counterweight to Western dominance. In 2022, Xi secured an unprecedented third term as General Secretary of the CCP. A year later, he was re-elected as president, with unanimous approval. The CCP passed a historical resolution praising his leadership, placing him in the same lineage as Mao and Deng. His loyalists dominated the Politburo Standing Committee. Poverty had been drastically reduced, the military modernized, and China emerged as a technological powerhouse. Yet, Xi's leadership is also marked by concerns over authoritarianism, censorship, and human rights abuses. His legacy, still unfolding, will shape not only China's future, but the world's. From a cave in rural Shaanxi to the grand halls of Beijing's Zongnanhai, from the son of a purged revolutionary to the most powerful Chinese leader since Mao. Xi Jinping's journey is one of resilience, ambition, and relentless pursuit of power. To some, he is the man who restored China's pride. To others, he is an authoritarian tightening his grip on a nation of 1.4 billion. One thing is certain, Xi Jinping is not just shaping China's story. He is reshaping the story of the 21st century. And history will decide his legacy.